I am sitting in my living room. I thought we should celebrate. Oh, so nice. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Please click the button to subscribe so that you receive all my latest uploads. So today I am going to share with you guys my mortgage process journey. But before that, I am sitting in my living room. I thought we should celebrate because, you know, why not? Why not? So I'm about to attempt to open this prosecco, yeah, because hey, the Lord has done marvelous things, so we must celebrate. Love that, and I'm so proud. So listen, before we start talking, let's have a drink. So cheers to this house, cheers to my hard work, cheers to the Lord for provision, and cheers to everyone who is in this process. I can assure you, you will reach the end and you will be so happy that you stuck along and went through the process and everything else. So cheers to everyone and good luck to everyone who's also in this position right now. Cheers. Oh, so nice. So this is going to be a bit of chat, obviously tell you a bit of a story behind this house, getting this house, and also the mortgage application process in England, UK. So this is going to be a story time giving you my experience. I am no a financial advisor, nor do I have any qualification when it comes to mortgages, but I can only tell you what I went through, my process from getting the house, putting an offer through to completion. So here we go. I've actually made some notes because it feels like such a long time ago. I mean, I've been in this house now for 3 months. I cannot believe. That's a whole another story because there's so much that I need to do, but workers are not available. Someone says that they're not available till June, and that was when I contacted them in March. So this is going to be a long time to get stuff done, but at the moment I am so happy. So let's get right into it. So for me, I knew I wanted to buy a house a long time ago. 2017, I then decided that I was going to start saving properly. I mean, I've always been someone who I've always saved. I'm quite good with money, but in 2017 I heard about Help to Buy, ISA. So I was like, okay. I went to my bank and I asked, like, how can I set up one up? And I knew the government was helping people that are saving to buy a house or for their first house. They will contribute £50 towards £200 that you put in. So I was like, oh, £200 is not that much, so I can save that. So I was just saving throughout the year, and I was like, oh, I want to buy a house in 2018. So if I save as much as I can, then I'll be able to buy a house. But then 2018 came around and plans changed because it is life. I decided to go to South Africa for 6 months to volunteer and look after the most adorable babies, abandoned babies. And so I put that on hold, buying a house on hold, and I was still actively saving with, you know, the little money that I had. So I went away for a few months. I came back and I was like, right, I came back in 2019, and so I was like, right, I am now going to buy a house in 2020. 2020 is my year. I'm going to buy a house. and I had gone back home. So another thing as well, if you're saving and you're able to live at home with your parents or a parent or an aunt or an uncle, any type of like family relationship, if you can stay home, that is the best option. And I know it's not always the option for everyone, but for me, I was able to stay at home. And since I was able to stay at home, I was privileged enough not to contribute to anything, so I was able to save quick. And then obviously the pandemic happened, and that in itself was challenging because I was eager to buy a house in June, but everything stopped for a long time. And so what else was I supposed to do? Save. So I saved, right? And in the meantime, once things were starting to open up, I went to view houses in the city that I wanted to live in. And boy, let me tell you, you know when some people say, when I went, the first house I saw, I made an offer and it got accepted and here we are. Bruh, it's not always the case. I've been to multiple viewings. Some of the houses I liked, some of the houses I put an offer, and pandemic, post-pandemic, well, during pandemic, post-pandemic, it was like house prices just shot up and people had money because they've been at home for a long time, so people had money to buy. And so for a first-time buyer, it was pretty hard, especially when the banks, there were at some point the banks were asking for 15%. Who's got 15% to give to the bank for a deposit? So I went through the process, going to view, not seeing, going to view, not getting, going to view, offering, not accepting. And then this house particularly was on the market, and the house market was so busy that it has come and it disappears. Like literally, you will see a house on Zoopla or Rightmove and you will call up and they'll be like, there's too many people who have shown interest, so therefore we can't book a viewing for you. And this is what this house was. So I initially saw it, I called to ask to see the house, and I was told too many bookings, too many people have shown interest, and so we're not taking any more booking. And I kid you not, like a week later it was off the market, and I was like, oh well, I guess. But then in October 2021, my life started, you know, changing. So I saw this house came back and I booked a viewing on the 18th of October. I came to view the house, and it's always true when people say, you know, when the house is yours, you feel it, you have that feeling. And trust me, I think like I had a lot of feelings of those things for other houses, but as soon as I got to this house, like it was a different feeling. I was like, yep, this is my house. And because people were overbidding, I was like, I'm going to obviously bid what I can, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, because I wanted a house but I didn't know. So I slept on it. The next day I called to make an offer. I put an offer through, and the lady was like, okay, I'll speak to the seller and I'll let you know what they say in 10 minutes. Even less than 10 minutes, I got a call back and she was like, yeah, they've accepted your offer. What? I was like, I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know how to feel anymore, because you know when you're so looking forward to something and you get it and you're like, is this real? Is this actually happening? Am I actually going ahead with this? I was screaming. I was so excited. So she was like, right, so we need to get your solicitor and let your mortgage advisor know. And before that, I think I skipped. I straight contacted a mortgage advisor as soon as I was ready to buy. So I went to my local mortgage advisor, someone around my area, and I gave them my information, and then they told me how much I can borrow. So I already knew how much I was able to borrow, so I was not looking at houses that was beyond my budget. And that's what you need to do. First of all, before you even start looking at houses, you need to know how much the banks are willing to borrow you. And in England, some banks gives you 3 to 5 times your annual income. So if you earn like 25 grand a year, they will times it 3.5, 4.4, 5 times 5 of that income, and then however much it is, that's the max they can borrow you. So it's all good in saying that, oh, I've saved 30 grand, oh, I've saved 40 grand. If your income is not high, then you're not going to get the kind of house that you want to buy. So that is what you also need to put into consideration. So I already knew how much I was going to be given by the bank should I go ahead and apply for a mortgage. So I knew my budget. So it's important to know your budget. And so when I called my mortgage advisor and I told her that I found a house, and so she's like, wow, congratulations, so this is what we're doing next. So once my offer was accepted, I then had to quickly get a solicitor. So I don't know anyone around me that has purchased a house, and so I googled solicitors around my area. I knew, actually, there's a girl at work that had bought a house with her partner. She's like, just Google and see what is around your area and read the reviews. It's important that you read the reviews, and I know you cannot always get it right, but if you find a solicitor and the first 5 reviews are not good, I would not recommend you to go with them. So I found a solicitor, they had a good review. I contacted them on the 19th, on the same day, and then they got back to me. So I contacted a few solicitors actually, and on the 21st I decided to go with the one that I liked. I liked the price, and also the reviews were good, so I accepted to go with them. So I instructed them, and when you instruct them, you pay a deposit, and then they started to do the searches. Part of the searches came back quite early, so I was like, wow, these people are on board, because I've heard that solicitors can take the piss sometimes, and you have to chase and chase and chase and chase them. But in the beginning, they were good. They were coming back with like results. On the 27th of October, they came back and said that here's part of the searches. So I'm like, this is quite going fast, like 7 days they're doing this. And so I was elated, I was like happy. They were asking for information, so I was sending information back and forth. So the first few weeks, they wanted proof of funds. They wanted information about the house. They got in contact with the estate agent, and estate agent then got in contact with the seller's solicitors. So then they started communicating with each other. So for the first few weeks, I was receiving loads of information, and anyone that is in this at this point, breathe. Just breathe and know that you will make it. There's a lot to read and sign and send back. So they would get the searches done, they would send it to me, and then I will read, and then I'll make sure that I am happy with that information. And whilst this was going ahead, my mortgage advisor then applied for the mortgage. And so I got a message from the bank to say that they were going to book their own valuation, and some, well, depending on which bank you go with, some of them charge you, but my one did not charge me. It was a free survey. And so they came and looked at the house, and it was quite quick actually. They came to look at the structure of the house to make sure that it's not going to collapse, and everything looks good. So they were like, cool. And then they then, when the banks then did what they had to do and then calculate and things, and then, you know, on the 19th of November, I remember I was going on a holiday with my cousin to Portugal, and as soon as we arrived in Portugal, I got a text from my bank to say that we have accepted your application and so you can buy this house. I was screaming. Do you know what? Because even though for me, I knew like I've got the funds, my credit was good, there is still that uncertainty. Are they going to give it to me? Are they not? Do you know what I mean? So you're never sure. But on the 19th, when I got that text, I was like, praise the Lord. So my mortgage was done. I knew that I was going to get the mortgage. The next stage was the solicitors getting their act together and making sure that all the paperwork were being done on time. And I'm telling you, yeah, there's a lot of waiting. So once the searches came back that, you know, when they look at floods, they look at mining, you know, they look at a lot of stuff around the area, and then they send you a report. But you can also do an independent survey. So I also asked them to do that independent survey, and that's level 3 of building survey. And this is more like in depth of the structure, whether there's mold, whether there's damp, you know, anything that would make it hard for you when you actually get the keys to the house, they will let you know. Unfortunately, the person that did my survey passed, so like it was so weird. So he called me on the Wednesday to tell me, I've been to the house, I've looked at it, everything is fine, you don't need to worry, there's no issue, the house is good. And then the following week, because it was supposed to put a report together, and he had passed, and I don't know whether it was COVID or like any other underlying ill conditions. But yeah, so that was scary. And then on top of that, my solicitor at the time left the firm, and so my case were like in a limbo. I didn't have anyone looking after me for few days. I was calling and calling and calling and calling, and eventually, you know, they assigned me to someone else. But at this time, it was December, it was going on Christmas, and the 22nd of December, my new solicitor contacted me and said that she has now received my file, but they're going on a break for 2 weeks, so enjoy your Christmas. I was like, okay. So during Christmas, I had to not think about it, because if I did, it would just stress me out. So I enjoyed Christmas, and in the new year, I contacted them again to be like, so what is next? You always chase these solicitors. Otherwise, they got so many people that they're working on their case that your case will be left behind if you're not persistent in chasing. So I was calling every other day. Is there any update? Is there any update? And I'm sure they were getting frustrated with me, but I wanted to be completed as soon as possible. And these things can take up to, you know, normally it takes like 3 months, but if you're not chasing them, it could take up to 6 months, and nobody's got time for that. I wanted to quickly buy, move in, do my thing. So on the 9th of February, I sent the remaining balance, so the remaining balance of the solicitor's fee as well as my deposit across to the solicitor. And on the 11th of February, we did the contract exchange and completion, and I went and collected my keys, and I came to the house. And it's been a really long journey, and it has not been easy, especially when there were times I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore, because it is hard, it's frustrating, it is difficult. And when you're doing it by yourself, you know, a lot of the decisions you have to make by yourself, because at least if you're buying with someone, you share that responsibility with that person. But when you have to make all the decisions alone, it is quite daunting and it's quite hard, but we made it. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so proud of the journey. And it is true when they say what is yours will not pass you. And I was, you know, there are times that I was impatient because we're human, and let's be real, when you want something, you want it now, especially in these days. When you want something, I want it now. And so I had to learn to be patient. I had to learn to be content, and it's hard and it's not easy, but what is yours will not pass you. And I just really would like to encourage everyone who is in this position or who is in the beginning stage of either saving or has got their savings to the right amount that they should have, and they're now looking for houses or they're going on viewings. Trust me, just stay focused, know what you want, and don't settle. With me, I knew that I wanted a 3-bedroom house. I wanted a house with a garden, a decent garden. I am not a gardener, so I am not going to be there gardening, but at least somewhere that I can barbecue is very important to me. And I wanted a downstairs toilet. Those are the 3 things that I did not want to lose out. So you need to have a vision. You need to make sure you know what you want and you don't settle for it, because at the end of the day, you're the one that is going to be living in that house, and you want to, there's no a perfect house. I don't think there is a perfect house, because there's always going to be something, you know, that you want, but you have to be, you know, prioritize what's really important to you, and then just trust the process. Trust the process. It is going to be hard at times. There's a lot of praying, a lot of meditation, a lot of, you know, motivating myself, a lot of encouraging myself. And sometimes, you know, you share your vision with people, what you want to do, and other times it's important to also keep a lot of stuff to yourself until it manifests, because there's a lot of voices that could either discourage you from what you want to do or prolong what you're doing. So it is important to know when to share and when not to share as well. So I really hope that you guys have, you know, enjoyed this bit of my journey. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would want other stuff to be explained properly. For example, like the help to buy ISA is no longer available, but there is the lifetime ISA, which I would encourage anyone that want to buy a house to open an account with their lifetime ISA, because if you save £4,000 in a year, the government will contribute a grand for you. So in a year you would save £5,000, for example. So there are a lot of information out there. If you guys want me to talk about like savings, how I saved, how long it took me to save, and all of that, then I can make a separate video on that as well. But the process was not easy. It was fun at times, it was hard at times, and it's just part of life, isn't it? There are times where you're going to be really excited and the times where you're going to be a little bit down, but in all, it will all work out. So as I've said, and I'll continue to say, trust the process. Enjoy the moment of the good times and also the difficult bit time, because when you reflect, you're like, wow, I can't believe I have gone through this, and now this is, you know, the end, or this is the result, or this is the outcome, and you'll be so proud of yourself. And trust me, it is so worth it. I will encourage anyone and everyone, young, middle, old, it's never too late to chase your dreams, or it's never too late to purchase a house. It's very important, I think, for you to have a home for yourself, and it's an investment. At the end of the day, houses go up, you know, on a yearly basis, so you will not, it's not a mistake once you get onto the property ladder. It gives you more opportunity to buy more houses. So I hope this video encourages you. I hope you've enjoyed this. thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to subscribe, share and like. Also give me a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I will deliver. So cheers, and see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.